After getting a wide receiver, the Dallas Cowboys could trade playmaker Jalen Tolbert before the 2025 season. After trading for wide receiver George Pickens this offseason, the Dallas Cowboys could trade former third-rounder Jalen Tolbert before the 2025 campaign. USA Today's Katie Drummond made a suggestion that the Cowboys could be on the verge of trading the wide receiver since the team has been making moves to salvage their passing offense. Originally selected in the 2022 NFL Draft, the former South Alabama product had two first slow seasons in his career, recording just 22 receptions for 268 receiving yards and a pair of touchdowns in 2023. The following season, the Cowboys saw excellent improvement from the wideout, and being that he's in his final year of his rookie contract, they could entertain a trade. Earlier last year, the Cowboys were desperate looking for pass-catching help, so they traded for former Panther Jonathan Mingo to bring in some type of relief. It hasn't been paying off since he's yet to break out, but if he impresses this year and Tolbert doesn't, that should tell you the Cowboys could be open to trading Tolbert. Either way, it's hard to compensate a new contract based on one season, recording 49 receptions for 610 yards and 7 touchdowns. The wide receiver is in line for a new deal, but these 5 teams could offer a day 3 future pick if the Cowboys endure another losing season this year. While drafting Trey Harris provides some potential upside alongside Ladd McConkey, the Chargers have yet to have another proven receiver option on the depth chart. Veteran Mike Williams is way past his prime to be putting up more than 1,000 yards consistently anymore. Meanwhile, Quentin Johnston will likely get cut or be traded to a new team if he continues to be unproductive. Tolbert could provide Justin Herbert a low-risk, high-reward playmaker who could break out again at any moment. However, the New Orleans Saints will probably need a new wide receiver soon. It's becoming hotter every day that Chris Olave could request a trade, especially after Derek Carr's retirement plans. New Orleans is enduring a disaster offseason, and it doesn't look good for first-year Kellen Moore. Tolbert could reunite with Moore to provide some familiarity in his new offense for whoever steps up as quarterback. The Panthers have done phenomenally well on both sides of the ball. After finally improving the defense, the team decided to go with another receiver, Tetairoa McMillian, to salvage the receiver core. Adam Thielen will retire unless the Panthers trade him during the 2025 campaign. This leaves Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker as two promising but unproven options. Perhaps they could trade for Tolbert to boost the momentum in the aerial attack for quarterback Bryce Young between him and McMillian in the slant routes. After releasing Gabe Davis, the Jaguars should be on the hunt for at least a short-term WR3 this upcoming season. Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. are the new dynamic playmakers for this offensive roster, but they could use a number 3 receiver to give them that last push. Tolbert is the perfect match in this situation and team with Diami Brown, so Trevor Lawrence has 2 speedy weapons that can execute situational plays. Despite not re-signing Amari Cooper, the Bills are still in the market for a wide receiver. Elijah Moore has untapped potential, but they could sign or trade for another weapon behind him to provide more of a boost. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Joshua Palmer are the lockdown starters, but Tolbert coming in could put the Bills atop a competitive AFC division. Fox made surprising schedule requests regarding Cowboys games. The Dallas Cowboys are frequently featured in Fox National Window on Sundays, but that will not be the case quite as often in 2025. That is because, surprisingly, Fox asked for it. Fox Analytics head Mike Mulvihill admitted Fox changed its calculus for the 2025 season and tried to diversify its schedule for 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time games. The network explicitly asked for more AFC games and other top NFC teams at the expense of the Cowboys. Of our 4:25 p.m. games, only 3 of them are Cowboys games, Mulvihill told Richard Deitch of The Athletic. In other years, we've gone looking for 5 or 6 Dallas games at 4:25. What we wanted for this year was more AFC, more Philly, but also more Detroit, and a little more Washington to try to capitalize on the Jaden Daniels story. Midnight, 4:48. I think we have a better mix of teams than we've had in the past. Sometimes we've heard exasperation from fans that the Fox 4:25 game is always the Cowboys. It's still going to be the Cowboys sometimes this year, but you'll see a little bit more variety in terms of top teams in our 4:25 window. The Cowboys only got the coveted 425 game 3 times on Fox and once on CBS this season. 3 of those 4 games are against 2024 playoff teams in the Commanders, Eagles, and Broncos, with the other coming against the Chicago Bears. The Cowboys are coming off a 7-10 season, and some of those Cowboys games Fox had have not been quite as enticing as the network had hoped when the schedule came out. This is probably a reaction to that, at least in part. The Cowboys may be a big ratings draw, but they simply are not among the class of the NFC at this time. There are plenty of other places where the Cowboys will land on national TV in 2025, sometimes to the disappointment of fans. Those who focus on that Sunday afternoon window might be pleased to see a bit more variety in that slot. Cowboys trade of Dak Prescott for 3 first-round picks urged by The Athletic. Last season was a lost one for the Dallas Cowboys, who could not overcome the combined blows of injuries, stronger competition, and a bad roster to make anything of the 2024 campaign. Those first 2 points are out of their control, but the latter came about from their own decision-making. The Cowboys promised all in last offseason before proceeding to do next to nothing in upgrading their personnel. They paid that price and floundered to the bottom of the standings. It was also a disappointment in that they lost another year with quarterback Dak Prescott. A lackluster roster made his job harder before his job was done for the year when he suffered a season-ending hamstring injury. They should return him at his full capacity by week 1 and have made the moves this offseason to give their franchise star a better chance of guiding them to a coveted championship. However, some are not convinced about the Cowboys' intentions and believe a trade of Prescott is still worth consideration for the team. Robert Mays tossed out the idea of shopping Prescott for picks on a recent episode of the Athletic Football Show. Let's just say you can get under the financials. The Cowboys would trade Dak for the right price, Mays said on his podcast. The Dak, Kyler, Murray range is probably where I land. I think it's the right answer. If you call the Cowboys right now, again, if they traded him after June 1st, in theory, it would be possible. If you called the Cowboys right now like, we'll 5 you 3 first-round picks for Dak, I think they would do it. Actually entertaining the idea, a trade for Prescott is a gamble on another team's part given the injury history and the extraordinary cap hits he is set to have over the coming years. It would be an incredible investment of picks and capital for a player that has not made a conference championship. But more importantly, the Cowboys signed that massive extension because they believe Prescott is their ticket to ending their conference championship and Super Bowl drought. Their efforts to build around him have been subpar up until the last few months, but there is evidence they are trying. Most notably, they traded for a strong number 2 receiver in George Pickens while investing in their offensive line with a pick of Tyler Booker in the first round of the draft. Those 2 decisions are firmly based in a win-now mindset. So no, there will be no trade of Prescott through this offseason and likely beyond. The Cowboys have their guy and will use the coming seasons to try to finally break through with him under center.